tuning in today. My name is Dr. Chidi. I'm reaching you from Toronto, Canada. Today is one of those days. Sorry, I wish I could start the program with just very happy news, but it's just unfortunate. It's the way the cookie crumbles in Nigeria. One case of insecurity after another, so many of these things happening that you just lose count. Those of you who have been following our channel know that this morning I was supposed to be having an interview with Chief Romney Ezeonwuka, who is the Ogilishi Igbo of Oba. And actually, Ogilishi Igbo, that is his chieftaincy name. He's from Oba, and he is the CEO of Rojeni Tourist Village, located at Oba. I really appreciate my friend, my brother, and my senior Prince Ezenwa for making this connection happen. But we were supposed to interview him, and I made contact with him this morning, but he informed me about less than an hour ago that there was an incident that was happening at Onisha. He needed to rush down there. I will actually read this text. He said there was an incident that was happening, and he had to rush down to attend to that incident. I mean, this is just a reflection of what keeps happening. I got a text. He said, "Chidi, I'm rushing to Onitsha, Upper Iweka, where terrible accident occurred with cause of death. The 3 o'clock appointment cannot hold unless we can extend it to 8 p.m. Nigerian time." So we are hoping we can do the interview with Chief Romy Ezeonwuka by 8 p.m. Nigerian time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern time over here. He had to rush to Apiweka because there's an accident there. So much insecurity, and we are discussing insecurity today against the background of the Apo Six. A lot of you may not even know the story of the Apo Six because it happened at a time when it was you could silence. It was easy to silence anybody who was talking that the government did not agree with what they were saying. The level of social consciousness that we have now didn't exist then. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this Apo Six. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. Let me put on this picture so that we can see. Now, this picture that we are seeing now on our screen is a picture that, like an ad that was put up by the people that are named there are Igbo Renaissance Forum, Apo Traders Association, Ohaneze Ndibo FCT Abuja chapter. Now, let me talk about this Apo Traders Association. Apo Mechanic Village just exploded out of nothing. That was just like a forest, no development, no infrastructure. But these Igbo boys came there and they made something out of nothing. It is so sad. Every time Igbo people talk about marginalization, talk about segregation, talk about injustice, a lot of people don't understand it. But you cannot explain to me why Nigeria will be talking about industrial revolution, talking about economic development, and yet in FCT Abuja you had a group of young people, young, energetic, enterprising group of people. They come into a place, they are not asking you to give them money. They don't ask you for government loan. They don't ask you for anything. They say we have our money. They come with their container and they set the container up in a bush and they start trading, start providing service. They provide spare parts. Government officials will go to this Apo village to fix their vehicles. They were engineering. You don't use engineering companies to fix your car. Even the state house itself, Asu Rock, will go to Apo village to go and buy their spare parts. Yet you could not even provide infrastructure. You could not provide adequate environment for these Igbo boys to practice their trade. You continue, you collect money from them, you chase them up and down, they continue to give them hell. But they kept on expanding that place. They made it big expand. If you came to Abuja in the early days, you will understand what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, because I was there. I know a lot of my brothers and sisters that were there in that Apo village, so I used to frequent the place. Or you talk about the what do they call it, computer village. When computer village started in Abuja, everybody, the computer companies, electronic companies that would take contract from the government for the repair of computers or networking contracts, they will go to computer village and hire some Igbo boys that are training under the bridge. You know that place that is very close to the mosque, to the central mosque. Around that place, you chase, man. See, if you see an Igbo man talking, just waka, just leave him. If you don't understand what he's talking about, just let him go. You know, I'm just thinking back, and I remember that these guys at Computer Village, they were chased under the bridge where there's like river, like, you know, under the bridge in the valley, out of sight, in the capital of a country that is supposed to be their own. Meanwhile, on the top part of the bridge, all around the mosque, you have other people from the same Nigeria transacting in black markets, changing dollars. Go to zone 4. You see these people. I'm not trying to be tribalistic, but truth be said, each tribe has something that they specialize in. You have Alhajis, you have the Hausa money changers. I had them as my friend. Alhaji Tanko, Alhaji Ibrahim. All around Sheraton, they had their illegal structures, containers. They were go along that road now, in front of Nikon and Sheraton. Who is changing money there? Is it not Hausa people that are there, Fulani people? That was their own. Nobody was disturbing them. They put their chair in front. They sit like this, and when you come, they wave at you. They don't even run to you. You park your car, you come down, or they have their boys in full clear. People go there to change money on the top, but under the bridge, the slaves, the outcasts, the rubbish people, they are under the bridge doing, and yet they are the smart ones. They are the ones fixing your computer. They are the ones that are fixing your handset. No matter the latest handset, go there. You know now, you know what I'm talking about. iPhone Z, iPhone X, whatever, come there, they will get it for you. You buy the phone abroad, or you go out to all the computer engineers. Nobody can crack it, nobody can break it. Go to Computer Village under the bridge. Those Igbo boys will crack it for you. The government, out of wickedness, out of hatred, out of jealousy, out of your program to keep a people perpetually marginalized, perpetually downtrodden, you refuse to recognize the ability of these young people. Other climates in other places, you know what they will do? They will establish that computer village, turn it into a very big mall. People from other West African countries will have to come there to learn technology. But what did you do? You just chase them away, you chase them from here, you chase them to another place, you chase them from another place to another place. So that's how this Apo people. I didn't even know you were not seeing my face all this time. I was really upset. Forgive me. So this Apo mechanic village. That's how it came to be. No matter what you needed, go to Apo mechanic village. They will do it for you. Even if you bought the latest version of a car that no other mechanic can fix, go to Apo village. They will fabricate. In Apo village, they will put the engine of a Volkswagen. They will put it in front of your Mercedes car. Rolls Royce, just bring it. Hey, our guy, just bring it. Send it to us. In Apo, they will take the engine of a pickup and put it inside the limousine. You carry it and go. Waiting. Okay, he said this one, they need to import it from abroad. He said, okay, wait a minute. Can be able to give me one time. And Chukode, bring that gearbox, gearbox. Gearbox. Now Yoruba people they say gearbox. My Yoruba brothers, gear. Igbo people like gearbox, not box, gearbox. But I'm gonna do that gearbox. Okay. This one is original, but I get the other one that is Taiwan. But we can use the one from Bijo and change it to Lota. I'm just trying to yab everybody, trying to make fun out of this very ugly story. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that our poor people, we are very smart, very, very intelligent. No, I've not seen any problem. No, I've not seen any mechanical problem, anything concerning a car that you took to Apo village. Why am I talking about Apo village? Because I was living in Abuja. We went to Abuja in the early days of Abuja. Those times when you could lie down on the streets. Wuse, Metama, nobody was after the market, after that Wuse market. Nobody was living inside that place waiting. Nobody was living there. No houses were there. No, now. That's when we came to Abuja. It's another 3-arm zone that goes to Asu Rock. It was only one road leading inside there. The other side, there was a time there was no road. Later they put road, but that road you couldn't ply that road. SSS will kill you. You couldn't go under the bridge to go into Asu Rock. You could only be on top. That's when we were in Abuja. So I know Apo very, very well. This story that they are talking about the Apo Six, let me gist you about what happened. So this Apo Six, these 6 people are products of this very, very wonderful Apo community. And this Apo community of very intelligent, hardworking young men and women, predominantly of Igbo or Biafra extraction. 15 years ago, let me tell you the story. A group of friends set out in the evening to go enjoy a lovely Abuja evening night. A journey they took, but they never returned. Their crime was that a lady, then Miss Arebu, turned down a senior police officer's advances towards her. That is what cost the life of this of these youths. 6 of them, 5 boys and 1 girl. I think I should put the picture up when I'm talking about them, so that it will make sense to some people. Because if I'm just talking about it, it will be sounding like I'm just telling a story. It's not a story. These are real human beings, young people, our hope for tomorrow. They just lost their life over nothing, over some person's wickedness, stupidity, and abuse of power in a system that did not have respect for the rule of law or a system that does not know what it is supposed to do. I'm telling you. So let me put up their picture so that as we are talking, it will make sense to us and we'll understand who we are talking about, because it is important that we talk about these things. We can't just forget about it, because if you don't know where you're coming from, then you cannot even determine where you're going, and you will not even know how to get to where you're going. So forgive us. We will and that's why you see us burning this candle that we are burning on our channel, because a lot of people will lose their lives to injustice every day. So these are the Apo Six, those ones you see on the screen. Those are the ones that we are talking about. Anyway, I'm going to try to move it to one side so that I can blow it up, and will appreciate this our young people that we lost, just wasted their lives. These are people that they come out of a place, they come out of a region where you do not help them, you do not give them loan. They have stayed with their master, served for so many years. Hard, you know what it means to serve your master. You sleep in the shop, no lights, nothing. You suffer, go through hard training, sometimes 5-6 years until your master settles you. Anyway, let me go to the story. I may have to scroll this up, guys. Please, I really need you to be patient with me. It is important that I do this thing the way I'm doing it. It is very, very painful, and we must remember these people. We must remember them. I don't want to take it off when I'm scrolling, so I'm going to go back and get them. I'm going to go back and get them. Yeah, just give me 1 second. I'm going to be reading about them. When I want to read about them, I don't want anything to come and make it go off. So give me 1 second. You need to give me 1 second to do this thing well. It is very, very important to me. Very, absolutely, very, very important. So yeah, I'm going to put them up here while I close the other one. Very, very important to me. The way their lives was wasted, it is not fair. No human being deserves to be treated that way. A lot of you know the gist already, but for those of you who don't know, I'm going to use this picture. I'm going to use this one so I can read about them here without scrolling it away. So as the story goes, their crime was that this lady Arebu turned down a senior police officer's advance towards her. Their names, these people, were Chinedu Meniru, Ifeanyi Ozo, Anthony Nwokike, Paulinus Ogbonna, and Ekene Isaac Mgbe, and the lady amongst them, Augustina Arebu. The police, in their bid to hide the act, they first said that the group were known criminals who had opened fire on them, but upon further inquiry, the officers involved refuted the claims and testified that, in fact, a senior officer, one Mr. Danjuma Ibrahim, this Danjuma Ibrahim disappeared to thin air. I remember that story very well. He was in police custody and he escaped. And up to today, nobody knows about him. But this Danjuma is the one that ordered the killing of these 5 young men and the lady with them. That's why when I see people in Nigeria protesting the killing of George Floyd, I say, yes, so we here in Canada were protesting. But I don't understand, when there is so much injustice around you, you are not protesting, but you're breaking your head about something that is happening in America. Look around you. Look around you and you will see injustice and police brutality right on your doorstep. You don't need to look everywhere now. Look at this one. Danjuma ordered the killing of these 5 young men and a lady. And it says, while we mourn the lives of these innocent Nigerians 15 years ago, we are more certain that the mastermind behind the whole act was not only pardoned by the courts. Oh, he was pardoned by the courts, but he was reinstated back into the force and promoted to the rank of an assistant inspector general of police. Oh, I thought this man wasn't there anymore, so he came back. Oh my God. Oh my God. You mean this Danjuma Ibrahim is the Inspector General of Police, AIG? What? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The night of June 7, 2005 was like any other night for this group of 6 friends driving home. A few hours earlier, 5 of them left their shops in Apo Market where they sold car spare parts. A friend of theirs was in town, so they decided to hang out. Make una come back on time, Mo. Edwin Meniru, Chinedu's brother, warned as they hopped into a car. But they did not return on time. They did not return at all because on their way home, they were murdered by a group of policemen led by then Deputy Commissioner of Police, DCP Ibrahim Danjuma. Do you know what happened? Let me just tell you guys the news that happened. So these guys went inside the club, and this Danjuma was inside the club too. They didn't know he was a policeman. He was there like any other guy. He started chancing this girl, this Augustina, who was girlfriend to one of the guys. And you know, the guy came, Chinedu came and said, "Come now, this is my girl now. Don't do this." Danjuma slapped him like, "Do you know who you're talking to?" But he doesn't know. Now, this is my girlfriend. I beg, she's with somebody. He slapped the guy. The guy slapped him back, man to man. And then, by the time they slapped him, other guys came, and then maybe I don't know how they realized that he was a policeman. So when they realized that he was a policeman, they apologized. "Oh, sorry. Oh, see, we don't know now. Sorry, no vex. No, Nigeria." They apologized. But the man left and went and gathered his people, and they mounted a roadblock just after the place, knowing that that's the road they will follow to go home. Immediately the guys got there, they accosted them, and they shot him first. It was the first one. They shot him in his mouth. When they killed him, one of them managed to phone, and he was saying, "Look, oh, this is what's happening to us." So, and over the phone, the person on the other side was hearing this Danjuma order the policemen to shoot all of them, kill all of them. And the junior officers were like, "Oh, Gabo, they didn't do it." I said, "Shoot all of them." And then the last thing this guy heard was a gunshot, and the phone cut. He killed all of them. I was there that time. If you guys know Radio FM, Hot FM, 96.1 or something, owned by former Senator Chris Anyanwu. My company then in Nigeria, Stillwaters Building Construction Limited. The company is still there. We operate, minimally now, but that was my company with Erica too. You hear Dr. Chidi, Dr. Erica, but our profession is architecture. That's what we're trained in. We are both architects. So we own that construction company in Nigeria. And we were handling the finishes at Hot FM. We're doing the finishes there at Hot FM. And Hot FM is at the top of a hill. If you know that Hot FM. So from one of the balconies, and Guru Cemetery, the cemetery, Apo Cemetery, is just behind that Hot FM. Not just behind it, but from Hot FM you could see the cemetery. I just saw a gathering of people, and I saw people rushing. They were rushing with there was a pickup that, like, police pickup parked, and these people, they were rushing, dragging the bodies out just unceremoniously, and we saw some boys gathering and shouting. The leader of that thing, one of my brothers, I think his name just brother, and everybody's your brother, extended. We're from the same village. I forgot his name now, but I saw him from Hot FM. I was saying, "Isn't this guy?" It was later that he informed me that they somebody told them, informed them from the police that this is what's about to happen. So the next day they had taken these boys to go and quickly bury them in an unmarked grave in Apo Cemetery. But the whole Apo market, they erupted and they came to that place and they tried to stop them. They fought them off, and they went back with the bodies, and they couldn't bury them that day. But later they secretly came and buried them until and I think later they now took them from that place. Or I don't remember what. I think they couldn't bury them there, and they later buried them at Gudu Cemetery. And so many years later, the family was allowed to exhume the bodies and take them away. But that is what happened. I'm not going to bore you with all the other information. But up till today, justice has not been served in the case of these young men. Is it because they are Igbo men and a woman? Is it because Nigeria is a lawless country? Is it because the citizens inside Nigeria, every part of Nigeria, because I am just focusing on the eastern part of Nigeria, Igbo people, Biafrans, that's where I'm focusing these days. But in every part of Nigeria, I can tell you there is grave insecurity. Everywhere, there is no part of Nigeria where there is no insecurity. So what is the problem? Why does this kind of things strive? Is it that we do not realize the power we have as citizens? Don't we realize the power of the people? Do you see what they have achieved in US through this protest? You know, I was watching one poetic presentation by a guy, and it was in the presentation he was asking, "Oh, you're asking why we are doing riots against protests?" He said, "Because we have protested peacefully several times and nothing was done. Several times. But guess what? When there was a riot, this was achieved. This was achieved. So many cities, so many states in America are changing their policies on police and policing. That is what happens when the citizens wake up to their social responsibility. Social responsibility is not just obeying the law. Social responsibility is you exercising your fundamental human rights. You recognizing that the Constitution says, we the people. You are the people. The power belongs to you. The moment you recognize and you realize that the power belongs to you, that day things will be different for you. But I found out that in so many of our gatherings, so many of our associations, it is the flip situation. The leadership has the ultimate power, and the people who are supposed to be the ones who are the owners of the power are meant to be subjugated. They are meant to be oppressed. They give them the power piecemeal, depending on how the master feels. But that is absolutely wrong. And you know what? It is changing. It is changing. I'm going to show you something, just to let you know that it's not just in the eastern part of Nigeria that things are happening. All over Nigeria, there is so much insecurity. In Katsina State, that is where the president of Nigeria is from. You would think that things are better there. For where? Things are not better. I'm going to go to Sahara Reporters, and I will show you one of the videos that they posted just recently about happenings in Kaduna State, just to make you, that's a Kaduna State, Katsina, just to give you an overview of what we are talking about, so that when we are talking about insecurity in Nigeria, you don't think that it's just happening in the eastern part of Nigeria. Everywhere, like everywhere. There is no place that is safe in Nigeria. None. Everywhere there is so much insecurity. And what you expect the people to do is to stand up for your right. Stand up for your right. Bob Marley sang this a long time ago, and these are prophets of our time, not all these fake prophets all over the place that are deceiving people in the name of Christ and the name of the Bible. I don't like it. I don't like if you open up a church and you're deceiving people, you're not my friend. I don't like you, and I would always not talk good about you. So let's see this video from Sahara Reporters, and this video is talking about happenings in Katsina State.
Zainab, go nan Maryam.
Okay. Why did I show you that? I'm just showing you that these are places. Did you see what they were burning? They are burning the billboard of the president of Nigeria, General Buhari. These are his own people, his very own people. They're like, to hell with you. If you cannot protect us, well, waiting. If you can't protect us, we don't have any need for you. You have failed woefully. APC government, you people failed 10 times over. Whoever put Buhari there, you have failed us. APC government, you guys should just pack and go home by yourself. Just, that's the most honorable thing to do. You by yourself, carry your hand, commit yourself. That's what you people should do. If I were you, that is what you should do. Honestly, I'm telling you the truth. Sorry. Let's go to another thing that I wanted to talk about. And this is a matter that is suddenly becoming it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. I heard that over 65 cases of rape, or was it 85 cases of rape, has been reported within a span of about 14 days in Nigeria. That is very, very worrisome. The one that is most worrisome is when you see people post a video. I saw a man posting a video and talking about, how he was making out with a 12-year-old girl, and he was proud to be saying that. I think that one has been arrested. And I remember Gwamnishu, who is a civil rights activist. He is on the hunt for another guy who put up a video. And if you know Gwamnishu, you know he doesn't joke. Go and check him out on Facebook. Go and Google Gwamnishu. I've interviewed him a couple of times on this our show, and he's the kind of people that people should support. This guy, there's a video where he's seen chasing policemen. I don't know, he's risked his life so much in defense of people who are defenseless. But this talk about rape in Nigeria, it don't reach time where we go look inside them. Let me tell us something. You see, we have to understand where we're coming from. We are coming from a period where we did not understand what it meant for a girl to be a minor. You see, those days in secondary school, you didn't even realize that in year one, because we went into secondary school when we were how old? I was in my class 1 those days, 2005. I was 11 years. I remember I was 11 years in class 1, 12 years in class 2. So you can imagine, by class 1 I was 11 years. By class 2, we were already beginning to fold our shirts. We are learning to do guys, so we'll fold our shirt and we fold the neck. Let me show you the kind of guy we used to do. You fold, because you have to be different. You have to be rebellious. So you fold the neck of your shirt like this, so that it will look different. There's a way we used to do it, and when you see a senior, you bring it out quickly. I went to a school that was full of discipline. You don't joke. But what I'm trying to tell you, by 13 years, by your 13th year, class 3, you started going for debate, for school debates. You started going to girls' schools. In fact, by your 2nd year, you started writing all these cards, all these emotional cards. Baby, I love you. You are the sugar in the honey in my tea. You write plenty of them. When you start learning how to toast a girl. You start reading. See, the point I'm trying to make is that at that time, we didn't know who was minor, who was major. I was living in a school, in a girls' school. My mother was a staff of that school, and we're living in the quarters there. And as someone living there, as a resident of the school, I would see people come in the pretense of trying to visit, and they're actually coming to chase girls on days like visiting days, or the days they're having a school function. These are girls that were all underage, because most of them were at least 12, 13, 14, but they were keeping relationships. Schools that were inside higher institutions, like schools, I grew up in Nsukka. You had the UNSS, University of Nigeria Secondary School. That was a school situated inside the university campus. And this affected a lot of people who went to that school, except your parents were very tough disciplinarian. Like my wife went to UNSS. So this kind of story doesn't concern her. If any of you talk anything about my wife, I will kill you. Anyway, but you understand what I'm trying to talk about. So it's made a lot of us. So in places like that, you find university students trying to go after secondary school girls in these schools, even in schools outside the university environment. So all of those kind of things led to people doing things they did not understand that it was inappropriate. Let me use the word. But we need to understand that times have changed. Times have changed. Things that you regarded as the girl they mess up, oh, the girl know they hear, we go teach her sense. So you go and block the girl in that footpath in the bush, and two of you teach her a lesson. And when you finish, you come and tell your friends, say, we don't teach that girl a right. That was rape, pure rape. But you don't regard yourself as a rapist. In another culture like where I live here, your life will be ruined forever, because you will be convicted as a rapist, and you will be a sex offender, and it will be in your record for life. They don't forgive that sex offender record. And anywhere you go to, you must declare that you were convicted of a sexual offense. If you make it out of prison, because when you go to prison, that is the worst offense that they can manage in a prison yard. Go and ask people that have gone to prison, or go and read stories about prison. So it is important that we realize in Nigeria that it is time to change. Whoa. It is really time to change. It is time to realize that you can no longer do certain things and get away with it. Times have changed. You cannot just go and invite a girl to your house, put something in her drink, sleep with her, and go and tell your friends. That is rape. That is rape. You cannot give an excuse that you thought she liked it, and that is rape. So many things that you were doing before, they are classified as rape. You can no longer do it again. It is time for us to realize that times have changed. Do you understand it? I know some religion condones marriages at very early age. Even in the constitution, present day constitution of Nigeria, it says that anybody who is married, it doesn't matter their age, once they are married, they are accepted. It's accepted that they are of adult voting age. Inside the constitution of Nigeria, I don't know why somebody has to put that kind of thing there. Is it to protect their very weird practices? I'm being very, very cautious here because I respect everybody's religion. But why would somebody put that kind of thing in our constitution? So, on a solemn note, I really want to sympathize with the families of all the rape victims that lost their lives, and all the people who are suffering from the effects of rape. And I want every young man out there, we made a lot of mistakes growing up, including myself. I want you to realize that a lot of the things that we did in our youth and we got away with it, we're just lucky. And it is time for you, and let me talk from a spiritual perspective. I realized a lot of the things I did wrong, and I gave my life to Christ, and I became born again, and it changed my life totally. This is the moment. You don't hear me do this a lot of times, but this is the time I can advise you that is one way to make peace with God, one way to sort out a lot of the things that you did when you were growing up, is by you giving your life to Christ, you becoming born again, and then fixing your relationship with God. It's so easy to do. If you seek that help, you will get it. If you want to talk with me about this, you can give me a call, +1 647 989 2837. We can talk about it. But if you don't seek help, if you even right now find yourself in a situation where you are always, it's like a terrible habit. It's like you are addicted to certain things that you do now, and you can't help it, especially when it comes to these activities that make you fall into abusing a female. It is important that you talk to somebody about it, and you can give me a call and we can talk about it. I can help you work your way out of it. But it is a very serious matter. It is time that I don't blame women. I don't blame women in a rape situation. Where I blame women is the ones that set a man. In fact, I take that back. I focus more on the men, because the men are supposed to be the ones in charge of a situation. And when I say this, feminists will say, "Oh, Chidi, you can't say that." No, I want to say that your man is the one that is supposed to take care of you. Ladies, let your man be the man in your life. That's the way the Bible has said it. And when the man understands his role, and when the man performs his role very well, the man is not intimidated by allowing the woman to also take charge. It's a little bit complicated, but if you want me to explain that to you more, you call me after and we can talk about it. But it is very, very important. It brings about peace when two of you understand the roles that you have in a relationship. But what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that I hold the men more responsible in issues of rape and abuse. But then there are women who try a lot of times to set the men up just so that they can get them accused of rape. Now, if you're in that kind of if you're in that kind of business, if you're in the habit of doing that kind of a thing, you're playing with fire. You are playing with a dangerous situation. Please, you need to stop it. And I can tell you, one day you'll run out of luck, because I know there are so many women who do that. I've told you guys a story of how I went to answer a service call. Well, not a service call. Somebody went to our website and requested for a quote. And you know, I'm the CEO of Fixed Team Building Contractors Limited here in Toronto, Canada. We're a limited liability construction company. And one of our, not our clients, she went to our website and she requested for a quote. So I went to her house to give her a quote, and she's just a crazy lady, man. And she said, okay, so after I took measurements and everything, she says, how much is it going to cost? I said, oh, wow, that's too soon. I need to go back and then, put up a quote and I'll send it to you by email. She said, no, tell me how much it's going to cost right now. I said, whoa, excuse me. That's not how we operate. And then you get out of my house right now. I'm like, I didn't come to your house except that you invited me. I was minding my business. You contacted us. You gave me your address. The record is there. Say, get out of my house right now or I call the police. Okay, I'm calling the police right now. She took the phone and she started dialing 911. And everything was happening so fast. The next thing I did, I called 911. While she was calling 911, I was calling 911. And I was telling the operator, you can hear her in the background calling. This lady, I'm in her house. This is what happened. You send your men here. I'm walking out of her house right now. But because she's calling 911, that's why I'm calling you guys. And I stepped out of the house and I stood by my truck. That was the only thing that saved me. And the thing that saved me too was because the police that came first to the scene was the one that I called. They came there, they saw me, they said, okay, hold on, stay here, we're coming. And then they went inside and they were talking to the woman. The one that she called, the 911 that she called, they raced to that place like there was a shootout going on. They were racing with the other ones did not even put their siren, the ones that I called. Their siren was on, they came out, they jumped out. If not that there was a police car parked outside there, I don't know what would have become of me. Because, do you know the kind of call she called? She said, hello, he's raping me, he's in my house, this black guy is in my house, he's raping me, rape. So when I had called the 911, I called my wife and I said, this is what's going on, but I'm not going to move. So that is for women who do this kind of a thing. You do it, it's not good, and one day you're going to be caught. But especially the men who are involved in rape, you need to mend your ways. You need to realize that times have changed, okay? You just can't go about abusing underage people and expect to go away with it. The law will catch up with you. So guys, that's our show for today. Please remember to come back 8 p.m. Nigerian time, when we hope to interview special guests that we couldn't interview earlier, Chief Romy Ezo-Onwoka, who is the CEO of Rojeni Tourist Village in Oba, the Ogilisi Igbo. We are going to interview him much later today. That's about 4 hours from now, I would say. That's when we're going to interview him. I hope to see all of you back here that time. please continue. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you share our videos. And if you have any comments, if there are things that you want us to change, please let us know. And from all of us here in the Toronto studios of Worship Media, this is Chidi on behalf of Erica and everybody in our crew saying we love you. See you guys later today.